Hello, I'm Fast Lawyer. I'm with Oculus Rift Reviews. Today we're going to review and play River Relaxation VR, a game on the Steam store released on February 18th, 2019 by developer Christopher Hogg for the HTC Vive, Valve Index, and Oculus Rift. There is no use of motion controllers for this game. This is all gaze-based navigation. You navigate through the menu, through your gaze, and you don't actually use paddles or anything on the kayak. The kayak goes on its own. You can change the settings on the kayak, and you can change the environment from day to night. The settings you can change is a sound mix, and you can change how fast the kayak moves along the river. And you could also choose to exit, which is probably something I'd recommend. This is not a very good kayak simulation experience. The main drawback is just the graphics are subpar, and even the sound mix is subpar. Now, don't get me wrong, the sounds as far as nature fit were appropriate, but there was no spatial audio, so the sound mix itself was not very good. When I played this game, I was actually above the kayak. I was not in the seat of the kayak. I would estimate I was probably maybe 3 feet above the kayak. So just that alone takes away from the immersion of being in a kayak going down this river. As far as the day and the nighttime settings, the difference besides the lighting obviously is the sky. You're going to see the stars and the moon at night. And also the soundtrack is different. You'll hear different animal sounds at night versus the day. But otherwise, it's exactly the same ride. You'll see exactly the same things. Except at night, it's just very difficult to see a lot of stuff. So I don't recommend the nighttime kayak ride just because it is a little too dark and you won't be able to see. I think this game would have benefited from giving you a flashlight at night so you could see better. But then again, there's not much going on. A lot of the scenes are static. So mostly there's flora abound. Lots of different plant types. But these are assets, I believe, from the asset store. I don't think these are original assets. And just some of them are not placed correctly. And you'll see certain, tree branches or certain trees not placed correctly, and I know I saw some objects that were floating above in the air just because they weren't placed correctly, aligned correctly to the ground, and some objects just colliding with each other. You'll see them meshed together not correctly, and there's not much going on. I believe the butterflies are animated, the fireflies, and then some birds, but that's it as far as any kind of movement. There's no other types of animals. I would have liked to seen fish. I would have liked to seen birds that have different flight patterns. I would have liked to seen a turtle, something along those lines, but there's nothing like that. Other than I said, like I said, the birds and the butterflies. The water did not look very good. It doesn't even feel like you're on water, but it just doesn't look right. It looks like a sheet of gray, what is it, liquid pudding? Who knows? But it doesn't look or behave like water. Your kayak doesn't feel like it's gliding through the water. It kind of just feels like it's floating on air, and it has these very robotic turns that really take away from the immersion of being in a kayak on a river. You can set the speed of your kayak, and I believe I was on the fastest speed, and I believe I finished it in about 10 minutes, give or take. However, I think if you're at the default speed, it'll take a lot longer. I think it's meant to be a 20-25 minute experience. Either way, there's not much that happens, and I just didn't enjoy it all that much, so I can't recommend it. Thank you, Fast Lawyer.